Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to PowerDrift QuickEase and welcome to possibly the best Indian electric car to come out of India. This is the Mahindra XEV 9S. It gets 3 rows of seats, a whole load of tech on the inside and lots more to talk about. Prices start at just under 20 lakh rupees and go up to just under 30 lakh rupees. We'll walk you through the design, we'll walk you through the interiors and we'll walk you through the price as well. So let's get to it. We'll start the design bit with the front, which is pretty similar to the stuff we've seen on the XEV 9E already, and that means you get a strong light bar going across the front. It makes a sort of L shape around the side, and then you have a large headlamp cluster here as well and a blanked off grille. This is pretty similar to the stuff we've seen on the 9E. You do get a slightly different treatment for the bottom half of the bumper, just difference in terms of detailing, not a big changer in terms of how the overall car looks. We'll move around to the side where you get a different design for the rims, which have of course like an aero design for efficiency, and you have your efficient tires for your electric vehicle. But around the side, the big talking point is of course the fact that this looks almost exactly like a slightly stretched XUV 700. So in terms of its proportions, it's definitely almost exactly the same as the 9E, except the roofline. The roofline is higher, it's straighter, and that gives you that third row of seats in the back. But we'll speak about the interior in a bit. Let's talk about the rear, where you get, again, a very similar design to the 700, but a slight change in terms of the tail light design. You get slightly different details with that hexagon finish on the inside. You get a black bar going across here and the Mahindra Infinity logo, as well as the XEV 9S badging. It's fairly simple in terms of its styling, and I kind of like that. It's not trying to be anything too much. I'll quickly open the boot to show you what space is like. So it has a 527-liter boot with the rear third row folded. I'll pull it up to show you what space is like, and then it's sort of negligible, but that's what you expect in a third row SUV. And now we'll quickly move on to the inside, where there is a whole lot. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the interior of the XEV 9S, and I can tell you this is definitely an impressive place to be. First, you have a triple screen layout. These are three 12.3-inch screens. Of course, this is for your speedo and your instrument cluster. This is your central display for your regular controls, maybe your climate, your media. And then you have a separate passenger display where you can, control the media separately and have there's like some meditation stuff as well in there. But this is standard, which is really nice to see. Another thing that's standard is the panoramic sky roof, or the panoramic sunroof, as anyone else would call it. That is standard as well, which is two big features, two very aspirational features that are standard on the XEV 9S. I'll just open the thing at the back. The rest of the interior is pretty simple. Stuff I don't like, firstly, are these capacitive touch buttons. I'm not really a fan of these. I would prefer physical controls. You do have a panel here where you can wirelessly charge your phone. You have two Type-C ports and another place to store your phone there as well. The steering is what we've seen on the XEV 9S already. It's a squircle-ish shape. It's almost circle but not quite circle, and you have your black panel here which gets just a lot of fingerprints and is a pain to keep clean. And then you have just your controls for your media and stuff, and you have your boost mode control here as well. But we'll speak more about the powertrains in a bit. You have an armrest here, green sort of material on it, and I can open it. You have a little bit of storage here. This is what the key looks like, and the air freshener is not standard on the car. This does get something called a powered boss mode, but let's quickly hop into the second row and then we can show you what it's like from there. Okay, we are now in the second row of the XEV 9S, and this is definitely a very comfortable place to be. The driver's seat is adjusted to my driving position. I'm about 5 feet 11 inches and I have plenty of knee room. And unlike the XEV 9E, I also have plenty of headroom back here as well. Now, there's a couple of changes here in the second row of seats. Firstly, you get seat ventilation. The button is right down there. You can take a look. Second row seat ventilation is great to see. You get an armrest here, but of course that's standard. Other things that are adding to the relaxing bit is now you get a recline feature. So this is basically the standard setting of the seat, but you can recline it back a little bit to chill out. And there is also sliding. So I can slide this forward or back to liberate space in the second row. It's more about the second row comfort of the third row comfort than the second row comfort, because this is already pretty far back. So you would only take it a little bit more in front and liberate some space in the back. Other stuff to note here is you get two 65-watt Type-C charging ports here, and that is mainly for the BYOD, or the bring your own device kind of thing. And it's basically to set up your device here in the back and use it as rear seat entertainment. You also have a table here, which is pretty nice, a nice hinge on that, and it comes out and folds out here, so you can put your laptop here, your notebook, and work, read, whatever. Pretty nice. You also have, like I said, powered boss mode control. So there's a square here, and you can control the front seat with these buttons here. So even that slight manual labor of a regular boss mode where you have to pull the lever and push the seat forward is now gone, which is great. Other stuff is you have your two AC vents here, and down here a place to keep your phone as well. And now we'll quickly move on to the all important third row. Let's see what it's like to get in firstly. Lift this lever, it's pretty easy tumble, and then the climb into the back. I wouldn't say it's the easiest, and nor is it the most spacious, but let's see. Okay, I'm now in the third row of the XEV 9S, and this is not a great place to be. You do have adjustable headrests, but I am sitting incredibly knees up. I can slide this row forward, and then I do have enough knee room here, but you can still see it's a very knees up position. I'm sitting almost on the floor, and while there is just about enough space to make it humanly all right, I would reserve it only for very short trips. If you are an adult, if you're a kid, maybe you should be all right. There is a cup holder here and AC vents, but much like most third row SUVs, this is still not the best place to be. So that was a quick first look at the Mahindra XEV 9S. If I were to sum it up, it's basically an electric version of the 700, or you could even take it as a 3-row SUV version of the XEV 9e. So it's nothing really groundbreaking here, but it's definitely going to be a very comfortable SUV to travel in the back of. We're going to be driving it just in a couple of hours, and our review for that drops on the 29th of November, which is, if you're watching this today, it's day after. And there are some things to talk about as well. So you have two battery options, much like before, a 59 kilowatt hour and a 79 kilowatt hour. With that 79 kilowatt hour battery, you get about 500 kilometers of real world range, which is what Mahindra is claiming. You get 285 horsepower and 380 Newton meters of torque with that bigger battery, and that's good for a 0 to 100 kilometers per hour time of 7 seconds and a top speed of 202 kilometers per hour. Again, these are specs we've already seen on the XEV 9e. They're not groundbreaking anymore. But they are still, impressive numbers. Some other things to talk about is that it gets a really sharp turning circle of just 10 meters. They've used a lot of ultra high strength steel, a lot of high strength steel as well. It gets 180 kilowatt fast charging and goes from 20 to 80% in 20 minutes. So that was some of the numbers that we might have skipped through the video that you would have got. Anything else you want to ask, drop us a comment and we'll answer them. And like I said, we're going to be driving this very, very shortly. So stay tuned to PowerDrift and subscribe for the review. Thank you for watching.